Yo,
Rap era was a time when every YouTuber and their mom started making music, and that's how the term YouTube rapper was born. Of course, it was already a thing before then, but this was really the golden era where every YouTuber was making music, with some even trying to start careers in it. However, since the late 2010s, the YouTube rapper era seems to have died out, and a lot of these guys have moved on to other things. So today, we're going to be looking into a few YouTube rappers and seeing how their careers panned out. But first, to understand what happened to all these YouTube rappers and why, I think it's important to understand the whole YouTube rap era. And I even brought in an expert on the subject who may or may not be in the thumbnail to help us understand it a little better. The YouTube rap era had a few major scenes, two of which I think were the most important. The first were the YouTubers who started making diss tracks and then started making real songs. This would include people like Rice Gum, the Paul Brothers, even
God.
PewDiePie, and honestly every big YouTuber
bro, this is just
at this time started releasing music. PewDiePie didn't start making real songs though, but you get what I mean. It was so viral, very fun for the fans at home, and honestly probably made them all a pretty penny, let's be real. And on the other end of the spectrum were the rappers who primarily built their audiences on YouTube, like Dax, Crypt, Quadeca, and people along those lines. These guys also did join in on the virality of
you know what's crazy? Back in the day, I made a song. It's called "Broke Bitch," and that rapper Crip, he wanted to do a feature with me, like that ass. Like it wasn't my Twitter yet. Like I can screenshot that shit. But at the time, like he was this fat white guy, right? And he was like super lyrical and shit. And like back then, he was like in red. I was like in the Call of Duty community and shit. So I was like had like a little name. So it was like, but after that, bro, he got so fucking big, bro. That's probably like one of my biggest regrets. Not one of my biggest regrets, but like at the same time, I was like, man, I don't wanna make a song with you. So like my image, his image, it was like, man, I was, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel that. I'm gonna stay real. I'm gonna stay real to myself.
diss tracks, and there was a big community aspect that made this music so fun for the fans who were involved. It was a new way of releasing music that was so casual, anyone can do it, and if the song was entertaining enough, you could easily kickstart a career in music. It can be hard to describe the sense of community and how viral all of this was at the time, so I brought in someone to help me. I asked one of the top dogs of the YouTube rap era, Quadeca, about the scene as a whole, and he helped me to understand it a bit better as someone who played a major role in it. Quadeca told me that the sense of high stakes and community competition is what really made the YouTube rap era work. He said, because this specific 2018 to 2020 scene was birthed by a bunch of diss tracks, people immediately wanted to tap into the full lore and understand all the characteristics in the ecosystem, so it became super algorithmically viable. Pretty big words there. This was a time when people cared about double XL ciphers, guys like 6
Bro, this was the golden era, bro. Like it was the golden hip hop era for real.
9, Lyrical Lemonade was at its peak, reaction content was blowing up. It was symptomatic of an era where rap music virality and
If I started back then, I would have blown the fuck up for real.
YouTube went hand in hand. He also emphasized how much of a role music videos played into the YouTube rap era and how much more people cared about consuming them back then compared to now, which I think is definitely true. Everyone from the YouTube rap era was making a music video for pretty much every song they dropped, and the fans loved it. But the YouTube rappers had a problem, and it was that most mainstream listeners weren't really taking them seriously. While at the same time, their YouTube audiences may have taken them a little bit too seriously. I mean, look at half the comments on my Dax video. But to be fair, there was some reason for that. Quadeca even told me, most of the YouTube rappers do suck, let's be honest. In the YouTube rap era you brought up, for example, I think the standards for what constituted a good drop was defined by the scene itself rather than a larger music listening population. And that is what contributed to an echo chamber of a lot of bad quality. If you check the boxes on paper for being a good rapper, the box checking of good song was optional. This kind of stuff happens in almost all scenes though. So because of all this, the term YouTube
Everybody can rap, bro, but making actual good music, that's a whole different thing, bro. Like, if you know how to make people feel, if you know how frequencies work and shit like that.
YouTube rapper was born. It's similar to the TikTok rapper label or any other label that you may see. It isn't always looked on with the most respect from mainstream music fans. Hip Hop Madness even described it as a curse. I asked Quadeca what he thought about this label and whether or not he thought the fans took the artist as seriously as they should have, and he said, I honestly feel like people took the artist as seriously as they should have. It was low-key the YouTube audience taking some of the stuff more seriously than it needed to be, many times to the detriment of the artistry because fans would hype up Acceptable Mid as the second coming of Jesus, and so none of the artists felt pressure to evolve as songwriters. And this is a theme that we will 100% explore in this video. It seems there are two paths the YouTube rappers generally take, either getting successful enough to pivot into more mainstream music, or getting stuck with a label that forever brands you as another.
Bro, I don't like Dax. Like that ass, bro. I don't know what it is. I never liked dude, bro. Like that ass. Like, he has talent and shit. I just don't like him.
YouTube rapper. Regardless, thank you to Quideka's insight. I think we have a decent understanding of the whole YouTube rap scene, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, shout out to Quideka. I got a section on him in this video, but I appreciate his help. And like he said, diss tracks in part paved the way for the YouTube rap era. So of course we can't leave out Mr. Diss Track himself, RiceGum. To some, RiceGum may be viewed as the definition of a YouTube rapper, and to others, he was just a guy who made diss tracks.
I fuck with RiceGum, bro.
But RiceGum definitely paved the way for many YouTube rappers to come. RiceGum's career started with his live streams where he would play Call of Duty, go on Omegle, and chat with girls like Mia Khalifa. He was actually pretty entertaining, and he began gathering a small audience. He then started posting on YouTube regularly in 2014, mostly making content for his viewers from his streams while he was still just in high school. RiceGum later began posting videos of him reacting to weird random content like kissing pranks, for example. And then he uploaded his life-changing video, These Kids Must Be Stopped. After uploading this video, in the first 4 months of 2016, he went from 100,000 subscribers to 1 million, and he would continue to grow rapidly. After beefing with a bunch of Musical.ly kids for a while, he did something that would not only change his career, but YouTube in general. He released his first ever diss track directed towards Jacob Sartorius.
You tried to be a singer, man, and look what happened. Maddie B or Jacob, I can't tell the difference.
Yo.
You can't go on stream until you do your dishes.
By no means was this diss track good, but you could tell he wasn't taking himself too seriously and was just having fun. RiceGum didn't start diss tracks, of course, but
That's the beautiful thing about it, bro. If you can have fun with this shit, people gonna feed off the energy, you know what I'm saying?
he really popularized them and spearheaded the trend that would dominate YouTube throughout the mid-2010s. A large chunk of his content became him beefing with random people online, which most of them were kids, and making funny little diss tracks in each video, accompanied with skits and some pretty entertaining jokes.
Big ego, but not bigger than your nipples. Pepperoni? Why draw that shit looking hella strong, though? 1 mil, get the nudes, then we gone, ho.
As he continued posting diss tracks and growing his fanbase, he had a bigger budget and more resources to make bigger and better diss tracks. His beats got better, his flows got better, his lyrics got better, his production, mixing, and music videos all got better.
My boy was evolving, bro, for real.
I'm not saying he was really good, don't get me wrong, but the quality had definitely improved a lot. I think all of this culminated in his Jake Paul diss track, It's Every Night Sis. This was his best diss track yet, and the first one he had released on streaming services.
Bro, that It's Every Day, bro, song was the worst shit I've ever fucking heard, bro.
It got nearly 200 million views on YouTube, debuted at 80 on the Billboard Hot 100, and eventually it went platinum.
But I don't know, man. Platinum song based off of a totally awful track. One of the worst songs of last year. And now, in less than a year later, it's plat. 1 million.
Bro, fuck this guy's opinion. No one gives a fuck about his opinion, bro. Who is he to talk, bro? Like that ass, bro.
In sales.
I mean, a YouTuber going platinum is insane, especially RiceGum. But this is something you'll see continuously throughout this video, and it's that YouTube is giving...
Like, no matter who you are, bro, don't let anyone, like, limit your fucking own limit. The fuck? For real.
A lot of people a platform to help them break into the music industry, making it way more easy than it was before. And like I said, it seemed as if RiceGum spearheaded the diss track movement, because other YouTubers quickly followed in his footsteps, making diss tracks and rap songs in general on their YouTube channels. But shortly after all of this success, he would get involved in 3 different controversies that seemed to cause him to take a hiatus. The first, of course, is when iDubbbz made his 30-minute content cop on RiceGum, and then followed it up with a diss track. I'm not going to touch on this too much because it's pretty well known and doesn't pertain a lot to his music career, but iDubbbz caused RiceGum to lose a ton of fans and pointed out a ton of problems with RiceGum's content. Most of his main critiques were the facts that RiceGum seemed to flex a lot on his viewers, didn't seem like a good person in general, did a bunch of other bad stuff, and made some fairly controversial comments to a woman
Did he really ruin his fucking career, bro?
who was raped. RiceGum, of course, responded with a diss track, and it received a whopping 1.4 million dislikes. He continued posting content that a lot of fans weren't super big on. It was just vlogs showing off the expensive things he bought recently, weird challenges, and things along those lines. A big departure from what he used to post. It began to cross over into those big clickbaity videos from this time, like the one where he mailed himself in a box. And he also posted a ton of other videos just baiting with hot girls. And in 2017, RiceGum released his first song that wasn't really even a diss track, and it was called Naughty or Nice. There was a couple lines in this track directed towards Jake Paul, but other than that, it was just a Christmas song. With how successful his diss tracks like Every Night Sis and the ones that followed were, it almost seemed like RiceGum wanted to start releasing real music. He also released a song called Fortnite and Chill that was just a song about Fortnite, and it wasn't very well received. And then he got into another scandal where he was sponsored by a gambling site and then made a video about it as if he wasn't sponsored, promoting it to his young audience, which caused even more hate. Regardless of the scandals though, this was not the end of RiceGum. In early 2020, he started teasing music as if he was a real musician rather than a YouTuber who makes diss tracks. Then he proceeded to release two songs that again were just regular songs and not diss tracks, and they didn't do too great. Now there's a lot of debate about whether or not RiceGum was actually trying to start a real music career, but I'm assuming the thought crossed his mind as he was dropping real songs rather than just diss tracks on his YouTube channel. But what really seemed to finish off his music career is when he had some beef with KSI, and KSI pretty much ended RiceGum's music career. RiceGum and KSI were beefing over a
did it. Oh shit.
variety of things, including whose music was better. So then KSI posted a video called Proof RiceGum Doesn't Write Most of His Music, in which he showed how RiceGum, well, doesn't write most of his music. And RiceGum had mentioned that he had some help here and there, but this video showed he hardly wrote anything.
This is the songwriting registry page. This is a good way to find out if someone actually writes their music. As you can see, RiceGum isn't in the writers list. Frick the police. As you can see, RiceGum isn't a writer here. God Church. As you can see, RiceGum isn't a writer here.
RiceGum has not released a single song since that video was released in June of 2020. And shortly after the KSI beef, he stopped uploading YouTube videos in general. But then something happened that I think changed a lot of people's perspectives on RiceGum. On April 27th of 2023, he posted a video titled Baby Girl, in which he showed his journey with his girl through her pregnancy, and then said that the baby lost her heartbeat, and they still to this day don't know why. The tragedy of this event seems to have really humanized RiceGum to people online in a sense, and I'm sure he did a lot of maturing following this event as well. Around this time, Rice returned to streaming on occasion, and seems like he has returned to his roots of making more chill, funny content on stream.
Yeah, man. Yo, guys, I took some time off. I was just figuring it out, man. Life isn't easy, man. Like, I'm trying to figure out my life, man. I took some time, was figuring some stuff out, but we came running back. I appreciate you guys not being like, oh, now he want to run back to us after, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys actually been welcoming me, being very nice.
RiceGum isn't releasing music anymore and seems to just be living his life. He signed a deal with Rumble Streaming, streamed with them for a while, and seems to be taking another break.
Yeah, streaming has changed, bro. Like, that ass, bro. You gotta compete with Kais and them, bro. Like,
From streaming. Regardless, his music career, although it was short-lived, was extremely successful and really set the tone for the rest of the YouTube rapper community.
Isn't that a porn star or something?
And speaking of RiceGum's beef with KSI, KSI is another YouTube musician who has had quite the interesting career. KSI is a man of many faces. A YouTuber, boxer, entrepreneur, and also a musician. He was another YouTuber who hopped on the music wave, although he was really early to be fair, and eventually he decided to take it seriously.
KSI is trying to max out all his stats, bro, for real.
KSI is one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, and he's been doing it for longer than most. He started his first channel, G-Day Jr. in 2008, and posted some FIFA videos, and actually his first rap song ever about chemistry that he made for school. He then made the KSI channel.
Bro, his older videos were so funny, bro.
Did a rap about Modern Warfare, which I guess is his second song, and at this time he only had about 50 subscribers. But it's obvious he had a love for music and liked to infuse his comedy in it. He started with FIFA videos, then did different types of gaming videos, moved on to comedy videos, and continued doing tons of different things throughout his very vast career. Like I said, KSI was rapping early on in his career, but it wasn't really serious. He was just doing it more so for fun. One of KSI's earliest songs that could be considered a serious one is when he featured on a song by Sway called No Sleep. He then later signed to Sway's record label Decipher Productions. His first official rap song was Lamborghini in 2015, and it hit number 30 on the UK singles charts. Again,
that song was a banger, I ain't gonna cap, bro.
and it wasn't a very serious serious song and it wasn't taken too seriously, but it was a fun song and fans clearly liked to listen to it. He continued releasing a few EPs and singles, but again, he wasn't really known for his music, and people that did know his music didn't take it very seriously, like I mentioned earlier. He even said himself that music was just a hobby that he did alongside his videos. But like I said, KSI was signed to a label which allowed him to get features from artists like Waka Flocka, Stefflon Don, JME, and more. In 2017, KSI and the Sidemen had a fake beef / real beef in which they made a lot of diss tracks on each other. The diss tracks were getting tons of views and they were making a ton of money, and of course this was during the diss track era of YouTube, which KSI obviously had to take part of. He dissed Logan Paul, Quadeca, and more. In terms of his music, he was probably most known for his diss tracks and less serious songs, leading people to see him as more of a YouTube rapper like we discussed earlier. He continued putting out music from 2017 to 2019, and even signed another record deal with RBC Records and BMG in November. They wanted to take his music to the next level and further develop his music career in the US and internationally. And I think it was when he signed to this label that people began to take his music career more seriously.
I'm kind of now at a point where I'm able to really find my sound, make good music, and I'm happy with the music that I'm producing. And now I can just put more stuff out, put more content out, and, you know, work with people that I never thought I'd be able to work with, and really, you know, come in with bangers, man.
He began releasing singles in preparation for his 2020 debut studio.
JJ got such a big forehead, bro. Like, you can see the I love JJ, but damn, bro. Bro's forehead is so fucking big. You can just see this bandana covering like a whole ass 3 dots right here, bro. Like,
album Dissimulation, which had a ton of features from mainstream artists like Offset, Trippie Redd, Lil Baby, Rick Ross, AJ Tracy, and many more. The album debuted at number 2 on the UK charts, and eventually it was certified gold. Since releasing that album, he released his album All Over the Place in 2021 and has had 6 songs chart in the top 5. On his 2021 project, he had features from Future, 21 Savage, Lil Durk, and even Lil Wayne. Who would have thought KSI would be getting features from Lil Wayne, man? It is crazy. His work under his new record label was taken much more seriously because of the subject matter, the quality, and the features. Nowadays, I think a lot of people, especially in the United States, don't really see KSI as a rapper. They know him mostly from Prime, boxing, and YouTube. But I don't think people realize how insanely successful KSI is in the UK. He's chart-topping, multi-platinum, and his songs are even on the radio. Someone even commented on a different video where I talked about KSI, and they said, the amount of times JJ is on the radio in the UK is outrageous. His numbers are up there with other popular UK rappers like Skepta and Stormzy. And I'm not gonna lie, songs like Madness are pretty...
let's just think about music business, bro. If you have the money, bro, if you got the money, bro, like KSI, of course, he has a lot of fucking money because of his fucking YouTube shit. You can just buy yourself fucking in it. If you're worldwide fucking famous, bro, then in one country's nothing, bro. Look at fucking Speed, bro. That nigga huge, bro. Like, that nigga Speed, he makes so much fucking money, bro. You don't even want to know, because if you know, he will start streaming. Trust me.
Good, so I think he's a pretty solid artist. Following the success of his album All Over the Place and the hit song Don't Play With Anne Marie, KSI signed a deal with Atlantic Records. Most recently, he's released only a few tracks like Easy, Voices with Oliver Tree, Summer, and a couple more. His last song, though, was released in 2023, and he seems to be more focused on boxing, the Misfits, Prime, and things along those lines. But because he signed to a major label, it has a lot of people wondering why he hasn't been releasing music ever since he signed. I mean, they probably want their signee to make them some money. However, at the same time, Atlantic has had a rough history with a lot of their artists, and I honestly want to make a video on it, so if you're interested, let me know down below. But part of the reason he hasn't been releasing music may be because his album was leaked recently, and allegedly one of the tracks even had some Billie Eilish vocals. And this leak and other issues may play into the reason why he hasn't been releasing music. In some since deleted tweets, he said, well, whole album been leaked, LMAO, so if you don't get any more music from me for a while, you know why. So who knows if he plans on returning to music after having the album that he's worked for so long on be leaked. There are also theories that his record label is holding him back, which is definitely a possibility. Regardless though, he has been extremely successful. Another YouTube rapper who got heavily stuck with the YouTube rapper label and never was really to break out of it like KSI was is Token. Token is one of the poster boys for YouTube rap. I mean, his biggest song is literally called YouTube Rapper, but he has faced the corny YouTube rapper allegations more than anyone else in this video. So here's why. Token is a rapper who never really even was a YouTuber. Ever since a young age, he wrote poetry and always wanted to be a rapper. His friend encouraged him to start posting his music on YouTube when he was young, and he was even doing things like ciphers and stuff in real life trying to grow his career when he was just a kid.
At first it was locally. At first I was like doing like ciphers in Boston.
Well, first time I heard it, I was like, yeah, this boy can rap. but I couldn't really relate to him. It was hard for me to become a fan like that.
Shit, but that didn't really like people didn't hear my name.
Tough to emerge from that.
Yeah,
That world hasn't exactly produced a
there's
ton of
not-
stars over the years.
for real.
He switched his name to Token and then started posting music videos on YouTube when he was just 14 years old. His video No Sucka's MC contest started blowing up in late 2015, and Token was finally getting some traction, with that video in particular getting 500,000 views in just 3 days. And somehow he got the attention of a bunch of famous people, including Mark Wahlberg, which that's just really random and crazy. If you look at his channel from this period, everything he was putting out, all of his original music, was blowing up and doing very well. He was blowing up so much that he even got on Sway in the Morning.
All I ever wanted was OG to say I'm ill. Started with a learning disorder, look what I built. Daddy wanted to be a singer, that was his aim. I see the bigger picture, I'm carrying him on stage.
Token was one of the top dogs of the YouTube rap era, and despite him not being as involved in the community as other rappers during this time, he was primarily releasing music on YouTube. However, I think it's clear that he never wanted to be a YouTube rapper, despite that being where most of his fans were. And I think this bothered him a little bit, because on the song YouTube Rapper with Tech9, he said, "I get way too much to be a YouTube rapper. The way I built this from the YouTube. And no more YouTube rap, goodbye." He ended that song with that last line, and that makes me think he was trying to break out of the YouTube rapper box around that time. I mean, he had a Tech9 feature and was even headlining his own tour. This was during the prime YouTube rapper era though, and like we talked about earlier, a lot of people thought Token was somewhat corny. They placed him into a similar box as people like Hopsin, Dax, or Logic, which really seemed to bug him. So he wanted to prove them wrong. In 2018, he released his mixtape Between Somewhere with features from mainstream artists like IDK and Boz. And this was really when he was killing it, with every single he released hitting millions of plays on YouTube. Over the years, he's been making an effort to break into more of a mainstream audience. For example, it seems like he's been steering away from the lyrical schmirical type of raps and trying to differentiate his sound. He's also been getting features from more mainstream artists such as Rico Nasty, Lil Skies, JID, Benny the Butcher, and more. But despite these efforts to escape the YouTube rapper label, it seems like there's a few things that are holding him back. Token lately has seemed to have reverted back to doing some of the YouTube rapper style of content, where he's posting remixes of songs and riding trends. I mean, he's doing things like making songs called So Trump, where he made a song about Trump getting shot, which many people find corny, and I think that's pretty understandable. And need I speak on his latest track, Hawk Tua Freestyle? You can't get away with that. You can't. So like I said, because of things like this, people find him corny. And I can't find it, but I saw a viral tweet like a year ago and everyone was like calling him super lame because he was doing another one of these type of videos. And honestly, I felt bad for him because everyone was clowning on him. So this label has clearly stuck with him. And I can understand where the people are coming from. Like I covered in my Dax video, when you are still doing these song remixes, it isn't taken as seriously as when you're releasing your own music with mainstream artists and it's a bit more original and you're trying a bit harder with the lyrics. But it does seem like Token's doing well for himself as an independent artist. He has a solid fan base and is definitely able to make a living for himself through his music, but the corny allegations have followed him as he's been stuck in his YouTube rapper ways as of late. And another person that has struggled heavily with the corny allegations is our boy DDG. DDG is one of the poster boys for rappers who made
I fuck with DDG, bro, like that ass. I can relate to him, of course, because that's like for real, bro. Like, but hey, I feel like people hating on that nigga, bro, like, for what?
it on YouTube, and his career since making music has been nothing short of interesting. DDG started making videos while in high school back in 2014. His first ever channel was a gaming channel, but that didn't last long as he quickly moved on to vlogs. He was then gifted a camera to film a trip he was taking, and that was one of the first videos he ever posted. He started making skits, and after he graduated his class as valedictorian, which I'm sure he needs you to know that, he went to college and began making vlogs. DDG said he was just having fun with it and wasn't really trying to blow up. However, that would all change when he reacted to the song Itchy Ma by Keith Ape. He made this reaction in 2015 and it really kickstarted his career. He was gaining tens of thousands of subscribers and really saw YouTube as an opportunity. When he went to college, he started filming vlogs with his girlfriend at the time, and a lot of his videos with her, especially the pranks, helped him to blow up even more. Around this time, he also decided to start posting music. Some were diss tracks and some were more serious. Once he started making money, he dropped out of school and pursued YouTube. At this point, DDG was really a YouTuber that did everything. He was doing vlogs, games, reactions, pranks, and much more. People really loved his personality and connected with him, so he developed a huge fan base. He also was posting music, and in 2017 posted his Lil Yachty diss track, which went super viral and was one of his biggest videos. DDG also did a bunch of diss tracks for fun, as it was the diss track era of YouTube, and fans loved it. But it was also around this time that the adpocalypse hit, and DDG wanted to find a more secure income, so he decided to commit to music. DDG made a separate YouTube account for his music. He said that he had always been into and around music. His dad was even an engineer and had a home studio, but DDG really started taking music seriously in 2017. Because he was already popular, he was able to collaborate with well-known artists like Famous Dex, Young Nudie, G Herbo, and more. He even released an album called Take Me Serious, so he obviously wanted to be taken serious. He started posting his music on WorldStar to help establish himself as a real artist. He had songs like Givenchy and Lettuce that showed a huge step up in his quality. He continued posting music, dropped an album called Valedictorian, because if you didn't know that by now, DDG
Bro, I'm bumping my head. I got the songs in my head, bro. Pockets were looking like ladders.
was a valedictorian. And then in 2020, he released his hit song Moonwalkin' in Calabasas. This song went crazy, and he even got a remix with Blueface that helped it go crazier. The song itself even went 2 times platinum. Despite his success, something was holding him back as a rapper, or at least that's what he thought. DDG has been very open about how he thinks that being a YouTuber can mess up his image as a rapper, and it seemed like he was disheartened about it.
They knew me as this goofy, as this corny, or as this chill, you know, whatever they stem me as from watching my videos. So when they see me going for music seriously, they like, he just a little goofball. He just, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I got that feedback a lot, you know, and it was frustrating because I'm like, no, I'm not, you know, I'm really doing this. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm talented.
On June 15th of 2021, he announced that he was retiring from YouTube and privated all of his videos. Again, like I said, the reason for this was to really solidify his image as an artist. Like I've said, being a YouTuber can cause some issues when it comes to having a cool, mysterious artist image, and that's exactly what he wanted.
I want some type of mystery to my life. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know me over 6 years. We damn near related.
I mean, think of Joji, for example, who was a YouTuber and then completely detached himself from his YouTube past to the point where a lot of his fans now have no idea he was even a YouTuber, or they do, but like it's such a distant memory and his music's so good they don't really even care. That's what DDG was trying to do. That same year, he even went on to become a XXL freshman, which really helped him solidify himself as a serious artist. But this was all short-lived, as DDG would eventually make his return to YouTube in the following months. He actually explained that he changed his mind and wanted...
Niggas always be like, oh, I quit, and they come back. Bro, only time I believe a nigga is quitting is if he's like getting old or some shit.
To make it cool to be a YouTube rapper.
I decided I want to be a YouTube rapper now. I don't want to be a regular rapper because these regular rappers be broke. I'm a YouTube rapper, but I'm also richer than your average rapper. I'm gonna make it cool to be a YouTube rapper. I do this rap shit for fun. I ain't even had to do that. I'm still clocking 6 figures a month. I ain't trying to flex.
That's the right mindset, bro. Nigga created a whole new lane.
This shit is cap. This shit is not real, bro. This shit is all perception. All these niggas say that they balling, but who really scoring? I'm gonna be a TikTok rapper, Twitch rapper, YouTube rapper, whatever. But I know what I am gonna be for sure is a rich one.
So unlike most YouTuber musicians, DDG was actually very open about his stance on everything. Since then, he's released music with artists like Lil Yachty, Polo G, Gunna, and many more. He's also released a few more successful albums with a bunch of pretty successful songs on them. He has 3 gold songs, and he's been very successful in general. However, it seems that YouTube rapper label and his personality in general seems to be haunting him a little bit to this day. Hot New Hip Hop said, DDG is someone who is consistently being hit with a barrage of slander. Overall, a lot of it feels unwarranted. After all, he is mostly just a YouTuber turned rapper who doesn't start beef with a lot of artists. Instead, it seems his biggest crime is being considered corny in the eyes of some fans. Someone else on Reddit explained why they think he's corny, saying, if he wasn't so cocky or wasn't trying so hard to rid himself of his YouTube image, he would be more enjoyable. This is something he struggles with a lot, and as I was making this video, he literally just tweeted, how long y'all gonna act like my music is not good? It's finna be 2024, except I think he meant 2025. Anyways, I've seen now that he's getting involved with crypto, which is never really a good sign, so only time will tell how his career pans out. Regardless though, DDG has seen way more success than most artists ever will, let alone a YouTube rapper. And there's one more artist who's come from YouTube that I think has seen a lot of success. Not like one more in general that's seen success, I just mean like one more on this list. There's plenty of others. Let's just get to it. Obviously, I mentioned Quadeca earlier, but he was was one of the biggest guys from the YouTube rapper era, especially because of his viral beef with KSI, and his evolution has been very interesting. Quadeca kind of started his music career before YouTube since he used to play piano a lot as a kid, but then he began making YouTube videos about FIFA in 2012, when I believe he was just 11 years old. He also uploaded a bunch of videos of him playing piano, although I think he's taken those down. He was super consistent with his FIFA videos and would even interject rapping into the videos very early on. For example, he would do it while he was commentating a match of FIFA. He was growing his fanbase a ton with his FIFA videos, eventually gaining tens of thousands of subscribers. Along with the FIFA videos, he would randomly upload rap-related videos like parodies and him rapping at McDonald's. In 2015, Quadeca released his first project called Work in Progress. He also performed for a school talent show that same year. It was clear Quadeca had a passion for music. However, it wouldn't be the focal point of his content until around 2017 and 2018. Up until that point, it was mostly FIFA videos with the occasional rap video which he would use to promote the music he was releasing on the side. He released his first ever music video in 2016 for his song We Music Fire, which was on the Work in Progress album I mentioned earlier. Throughout 2016 and 2017, he released a few more projects. And apart from his serious music, he was also posting diss tracks and doing other fun stuff like every other YouTuber was. Then in March of 2018, he released his first ever episode of the Styles of Rap series, where he would rap in the styles of various different artists. This video, along with the rest of the series, did very well and helped him grow his audience quite a bit, but that would be minuscule in comparison to what happened when he released his diss track on KSI. Quadeca responded to a comment KSI made about him not being good, and his diss track went viral.
Oh, Quadeca, if you're still watching this, or if you ever did, I even said to you that I want to make.
Of course he's watching this.
I'll make a track with him.
Me saying his fucking name is boosting him. I know shit's gonna be on Bread Badge. It might probably be on Drama Alert. I don't give a fuck, man. It's me.
So it's kind of like the same way you're like, I'm better than you and you're better than him. And Quadeca's gonna think he's better than you.
Yeah, but please.
The feud with KSI was all over the internet, and Quadeca experienced crazy growth, and honestly it's probably one of the best diss tracks from this whole diss track era. As of now, it has 39 million views and people commenting that they still come back to it to this day. Following all of this success, he released his album Voice Memos in 2019, and it was pretty successful. He even got a Genius interview for his song Regardless, Quadeca was blowing up because of this, and combined with his Styles of Rap series and other popular rap related videos he did, he was cultivating a strong fan base for his music. Quadeca was very involved with the more fast rap YouTube rapper type of scene, along with artists like Dax and Crypt, which was very popular at the time. At this point in his career, he was still both a YouTuber and a musician, and was succeeding at both. He was pulling in millions of views on every video and every song. However, in late 2019 and 2020, his uploads became much more sporadic, and he would eventually take a very big break from YouTube leading up until his next album, From Me to You, which was released in 2021. This album was very experimental and was almost entirely produced by Quadeca himself, and it was obvious that he was both evolving and transitioning as an artist. The album did very well with songs like Where Did You Go and Sisyphus, and he even got features from people like Guapdad 4000, IDK, and Play That Boy Zay. Following this album, he released a few more videos that weren't music, and then he disappeared again. Apart from appearing in the occasional Hive Mind video, he seemed to be pretty much done with YouTube in preparation for his next album, I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, which was released in 2022. This was by far his best album at the time. It was very experimental, fully self-produced, and very well crafted. It was a conceptual album that was way different from his earlier music. With this project, he was able to solidify himself as an exceptional artist, cultivate himself a strong core fan base, and he even received a 7 out of 10 from Anthony Fantano, which is pretty crazy for a YouTube rapper. And he got a feature from the Danny Brown. Because of how experimental and different it was, the album wasn't quite as viral as his earlier music, but it was an opportunity for him to evolve into the amazing artist that he is today. Since then, he's released another project called Scrapyard, which actually received a 9 from Anthony Fantano, which is even crazier for a YouTube rapper. And the only non-music video that Quadeca has posted since has been a video of him reacting to Fantano's review of his album. I also want to point out that this project features Kevin Abstract on the song Texas Blue, which by the way is my favorite. You guys should check that one out. And since then, Quadeca was also able to produce the song Tennessee by Kevin Abstract and Lil Nas X. A comment on the Insecure diss track that I mentioned earlier says, this guy went from a KSI diss track to a legit artist with amazing production. Like we discussed earlier, it can be hard to break through labels, and Quadeca even told me, I will say though, in my case, it's been difficult to shake my first impression for some people, so they refuse to listen to the newer stuff at all, and that can be kind of annoying. But I would say it has less to do with YouTube, and more with just being a 17-year-old who originally blew up in kind of superficial clout ways. That's just how it goes, and that's fine. It's all a trade-off. I guess my fundamental belief that motivated me back then, and that I still stand by, is that any label can be shed if you make the art so good that it's just undeniable. I was dismissed a lot for the YouTube stuff, but what I've learned is that you can't let the narrative others have projected onto you get in the way of the narrative you envision for yourself. At the end of the day, those same dismissive people will rewrite that narrative around what you've accomplished. So even though some may still be like, oh, the YouTube rapper, when they come across me, for others that has become just a funny piece of background lore for an artist who's evolved. So Quadeca has actually been one of the few YouTubers who's been able to break free of the YouTube rapper label and make his way into the music industry, working with mainstream artists in the process. And he's definitely one of my favorites to come from the YouTube platform, so make sure to check him out. In this video, I wanted to focus on some of the bigger and more successful YouTube rappers, but there were quite a few I obviously wasn't able to get to. One of the most notorious YouTube rappers out there is Dax, and I actually did an entire video documenting his career. He was one of the main guys from this era, so if you want to hear more about that, feel free to check out the video that's on screen now. Other than that, if you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.